In particular, the Chrism Mass is the occasion when the priests and the bishops reflect upon and we recommit ourselves to the ministry for which we have been ordained. And tonight, the renewal of our priestly promises can be a most profound experience of grace. And may it be so for all of us. This year I wrote a letter to all the priests, sharing with them my thoughts and concerns for them and for all of us as we prepared ourselves to come together for this traditional requirement and practice of renewing our priestly commitment. I hope I encouraged them with what I said. I shared with them many thoughts, but I shared with them as well my doubts and my questions. Doubts and questions as well as challenges which perhaps all of us are facing in this context of uncertainty in difficult times. I also shared with all the priests my conviction that we are in need of healing, of reconciliation, and of hope. And along with those three things, I believe we are in need of a purification of the way we live as priests. I believe that this purification will take the form of the cross, that it's a process of dying to certain ways of being and behaving, that this purification calls for a letting go of some of our thinking and expectations. Why? So that we priests can become more authentic expressions of the truth of the gospel, so that we can be clearer manifestations of the way of the gospel, and so that we can be more effective witnesses of the life of the gospel. Now, I'm conscious that what I'm talking about and what I shared with the priests doesn't come easily. And in fact, it may even cost us more than some of us are capable or willing to pay. And so for these reasons, it is important tonight that all of us know what we are doing and that we recognize the consequences and the costs of saying yes once again to the call of God and to the challenge as well as the privilege of being among His anointed ones in the ministry of Jesus Christ. Why would any priest, and why would any baptized person for that matter, choose to follow Christ in this day and age? Why would anyone today want to be a Christian and a Catholic? And there are some of you here tonight who are going to be baptized and confirmed on Holy Saturday night. And if you haven't asked yourself that question, well, then I'm asking it for you. Why would anyone want to be a Catholic Christian at this time and in this church? And the only possible answer and reason is it can only be done because one has had a personal encounter with God in the person of Jesus Christ. This was the purpose, the focus of this year's Lenten preparation. I ask the priests to invite all of you to prepare yourselves to renew your understanding of baptism. Because at the end of this week, the purpose of Holy Week is for all of us to be renewed in our faith. That's to be plunged into the baptismal experience and the paschal mystery of Christ's death and resurrection. the icon that's in front of me here, which is also the cover of your sheets of music, or whatever it is that's in that book. That was done by somebody in this church. And that was the person's way of trying to capture all of Lent so that we could come to the final days and be able to face Christ on the cross, but also to be able to celebrate with Christ the resurrection from the dead. It's an artistic rendition, but it captures the spirit. And so, what about you? What about me? What has this Lenten season been all about? And it occurs to me that the only way that we can follow Christ is when we have come to know Him personally and love Him dearly. It is only because of such knowledge and love that anyone can accept to serve Christ faithfully. And so tonight we are here so that the mission and ministry of Christ, to Christ's people, can carry on with new resolve, with new purpose, and with new gladness. This is why we're changing the oil. So that we can begin again, and so that we can get a new spark and a new motivation. We can have all kinds of reasons to say no to the church. The reason we're here tonight is to find the one reason to say yes. And that one reason is this, as far as I'm concerned, that the good news is being fulfilled and accomplished every day all around us. There is much to fix in the church, but that's not the whole picture. We mustn't let ourselves be defined by our failures, but to be defined by the fullness of our faithful accomplishments. And what do I mean by that? Well, the gospel of life is being proclaimed. The sacraments are being celebrated. People are being forgiven every day, and many find new purpose in the gospel. And if we think about it for a moment, how many people are being cared for in our families and in our hospitals? How often are people's hearts being touched by the charity of a neighbor? And what about all the good stuff that's going on in each one of our parishes? Work like the work that's done by the St. Vincent de Paul Society, or all the work that's being done with youth ministry. What about all the good that's being accomplished by the good priests and deacons and religious who have given their lives for the mission of God? But above and beyond all of that, what about the hundreds and thousands of faithful people, married and single, who continue to worship in our parishes every day and every week, and who continue to pray, and who offer themselves in the most amazing ways to allow our faith communities to continue to exist and to carry on? These are the faithful followers of Christ, and I think it's important tonight that we not forget that. And so all this good, this is the sign that the good news is being accomplished today and every day. It is all of this goodness which we need to see, to recognize, and to support by our presence and our actions tonight. It's the Spirit of God and the oil of gladness with which all of us are being anointed again, and which all of you will take back to your faith communities. And so may everyone here tonight, ordained priests and baptized priests, renew our desire to serve God's people. May we become ministers of a new evangelization and effective collaborators in the refoundation of the Church of Christ. Why? Because Christ remains for our time and forever, what the second reading today said, the Alpha and the Omega, the one who is, the one who was, and the one who is to come. Amen.